years ago, the internet gave you one piece of advice about AI. That was learn prompting. Prompt engineering was the skill of the future. Get good at writing instructions for ChatGPT and you will be safe, you will be ahead, and you will be employable. Millions of people listened to this, bought the courses and saved the prompt templates and got genuinely good at it. And then a few weeks ago, a man who built Claude Code, one of the most powerful AI coding tools on earth, said something that quietly broke the internet. He point blank said, "I don't write prompts anymore. My job is to write loops." So today I am going to explain what that actually means. What is a loop? What are the three pieces that make a loop work? And where is all this heading? And the best part is, guys, I will also discuss how you can start learning looping right now, even if you have never written a single line of code. Hi guys, I'm Amrit, founder of Future Minds Institute, your one-stop solution for learning AI. Now, let us go to the video. Chapter 1, the 3 eras of AI skills. To understand where we are going, you need to understand where we have been. Because AI as a skill has quietly gone through 3 phases in just 4 years. And here's the uncomfortable part. Most people are still stuck in phase 1 and they don't know it yet. Phase number 1, prompt engineering. Throughout 2022, 2023 and 2024, we learned how to write a good instruction. Act like a marketing expert, give me 10 Instagram hooks and make them punchy and add emojis. The skill was how well you asked the question. And for a while, that genuinely was a superpower. A well-written prompt gave you dramatically better results than a lazy one. Phase 2, context engineering. This is when people realized that question wasn't about the bottleneck anymore, it was about the information. It stopped being about how you asked and started being about what you fed the AI. You had given it your brand guidelines, your past emails, your customer data, and your notes. So the answer was about your world, not the generic internet advice. If you have ever uploaded PDFs into Notebook LM or built a custom GPT with your own instructions baked in, congratulations, you were doing context engineering. And most AI gurus online right now, they're still selling you the phase 1 and the phase 2. Better prompts, better context, that is the whole product. But the people actually building these AI systems, the engineers inside Anthropic, OpenAI, Google, they have quietly walked into the phase 3. Phase 3, loop engineering. And here's the one-line summary of the whole journey. In 2022, we learned how to write the perfect email. In 2024, we learned to give AI the right context to write it. And in 2026, we stopped writing and started building systems that write, check, and rewrite the email themselves on repeat until it is actually good. The last shift is the one nobody prepared you for. So let us break it down all the way. What is a loop actually? The word loop sounds technical, but it isn't. Let me give you an analogy that makes it click, and then I promise you will never forget it. Imagine you run a business. Let's say you sell organic spices online, your own little masala brand out of Jaipur. You hire an intern, and here is how you work with this intern. You give one instruction, they do one thing, and then they stop and wait for you. For example, you ask them to write a product description, they write it and then they stop. Then you ask them to post it on Instagram, they post it and then they stop. And then you ask him to reply to the comments, they reply but they again stop. Notice something? You are the engine and nothing moves unless you push it. The intern is smart but they are on a leash and you're holding it, tugging it every few seconds. That is prompting, guys. One instruction, one output, and then it just sits there, waiting for you to type the next thing. Basically, you are doing all the driving. Now imagine a completely different kind of an employee. You sit them down once and you say, here's the goal. I want more sales this month. Figure out what needs doing, do it, and check whether it worked or not. If it didn't work, fix it and try again. Don't come back to me every 5 minutes, come back when it is actually done. And they just go. They write 3 versions of the product description, they post one, it gets no click. And then they notice that themselves, they don't wait for you. They think that it flopped and throw it out, write a sharper one, post it again. It works this time. They move on to the next thing, planning, doing, checking, correcting over and over again until the actual goal is hit. That second employee, my friend, is a loop. You didn't hand it a task, you handed it an objective and the ability to judge its own work and keep going. That is the entire difference between the old way and the new way. Prompting gets you an answer, a loop gets you an outcome. One gives you a sentence and the other gets the job done. Chapter 3. The 3 moves inside every loop. Now let us have a look at what happens inside the loop. because every single loop, no matter how fancy, it really just 3 moves repeating. And once you see them, you will recognize them everywhere. I will use a name engineers actually use for this: act, verify and refine. Move 1 is act. The AI does the thing, writes a code, drafts an email or builds a spreadsheet. This is the part everyone already understands because it's the same thing a chatbot does. It's a swing basically. Move number 2, verify. And this is the move that changes everything. The AI checks its own work against the real test. Did the code actually run? Did the numbers actually add up? Or did it meet a goal? Yes or no? A normal chatbot never does this. It hands you the answer and shrugs. A loop grades itself before moving on. Move number 3, refine. If the check failed, the AI doesn't give up and it doesn't ask you. It takes what it just learned that didn't work and here's why and tries again. Smarter this time, and then it goes right back to the top. Act, verify, refine over and over again until the goal is genuinely met or until you have told it okay to stop now after 10 tries. Let me make this concrete with a non-coding example because I don't want you to think this is only for programmers. Let us say you tell an AI loop, write me a LinkedIn post that scores 80 on readability. Act, it writes the draft. Verify, it runs that draft through a readability checker. Scores come back and it is 62, not good enough. Then refine, it looks at why sentences are too long, words are too complex and rewrites the clunky parts. Then it loops. New draft, checks again, 74, still short, refines again, checks, 83 and done. It stops and hands you the finished post. So basically you wrote just one sentence, the goal. The loop did 4 rounds of work to get there. You never touched it in between and that is the loop engineering, my friends. And did you all notice that nothing about that required you to code? It required you to define a clear goal and a clear way to measure success. Hold on to that because it is going to matter a lot at the end. Chapter 4, the 3 ingredients that make a loop work. So that's the cycle. But a cycle alone isn't enough. For a loop to actually function in the real world, to not go into the circles like an idiot, it needs 3 more ingredients. Think of this as what separates a smart, reliable employee from a chaotic one. Ingredient number 1, memory. Here's the problem with AI that you do not know about. By default, every time an AI starts a task, it starts with amnesia, a blank slate. It forgets everything from before. Imagine an employee who forgot every lesson they had learned every single morning. You will have to re-explain the entire business daily. It will be exhausting and useless. So loops are given a memory, a place to write down what they learn. We tried this approach, it failed, don't do it again. Or it also notes down, this is how the boss likes things done. The loop keeps a running notebook and every cycle it gets a little smarter instead of repeating the same mistake. Memory is what turns a loop that repeats into a loop that learns. Ingredient number 2, verification. This is the big one, guys. Remember the verify move from a minute ago? This is that. But I need to tell you how the pros do it because it is clever. They don't let the same AI that did the work grade the work. Think about it. Would you let a student mark their own exam? Of course not. They would give themselves a A. AI does the exact same thing. It is biased towards its own answers. It will happily tell you that its broken work is perfect. So the trick is, one AI does the work and completely separate AI checks it. A maker and a checker. 2 different sets of eyes. The checker has one job, be skeptical, run the tests and catch the mistakes. This one design choice is the single biggest reason loops actually produce good work instead of just confident bullshit. Ingredient number 3, connections or tools. A loop that can only think is useless. It needs to be able to act in the real world. Open a web page, send an email, update a spreadsheet, or post Instagram captions. Without connections, the loop is a brilliant advisor trapped in a locked room shouting suggestions. With connection, it can actually walk out and do the things. This is what turns it from a commentator into a coworker. So basically, memory is there so that AI can learn, verification is there so that AI can be honest, and connection is there so that AI can act. Those are your 3 ingredients. A loop that has all the 3 stops being a chatbot and starts being something much closer to an actual employee. Chapter number 5, is this real or just an hype? Now I know what the skeptical part of your brain is doing. Nice theory, Amrit, but is actually anyone doing this, or is this another LinkedIn buzzword? So let me show you it's real. The man I mentioned at the start, Boris Cherny, he built Claude Code, Anthropic's AI coding tool, and he described his actual workday now. He doesn't sit and type instructions, he sets up loops that run on their own in the background. One loop constantly scans his work, looking for the things to improve. Another cleans up messy sections. They run while he sleeps because the work never really finishes. there's always something to improve, so the loop just never stops. In his words, my job is to write loops. And this isn't just one guy, guys. The same week, engineers at OpenAI said the exact same thing. Someone gave this shift its official name, loop engineering, and it became biggest conversation in the AI world. Now, let me summarize this in a single clean line. First, humans wrote the work, then AI wrote the work, now AI manages another AI that writes the work. 3 steps and 4 years. And most people are still defending the step 1, saying, I'm really good at prompting. But the actual reality is, the ground has already moved to the stage 3. Chapter 6, the honest catch. Now you'll be like, okay Amrit, that is awesome, but there must be some catch. Let me explain that to you. Loops are expensive. Every time an AI checks its own work and tries again, that costs money. A single one of these self-running agents burns roughly 4 times the cost of a normal chat. Chain a team of them together and it is 15 times. And here's the part no one will tell you. The people preaching this the loudest work at companies like Anthropic and OpenAI, where the cost is basically unlimited. They have infinite fuel to burn. But you and me, running this on personal budget, we should be very careful. But this is why we should learn looping. Every expensive thing in technology becomes cheap. Every single time. The first mobile internet was a luxury, cloud storage was a luxury, the first smartphones cost a fortune, and 18 months later, it's all rupees 399. And after a few years, it all became very affordable. This will also be no different. What costs a fortune to run today becomes a normal and affordable faster than you can even think. And when that happens, when loops get cheap enough for everyone, the people who understood the idea early are gonna have a head start. They will know what to do with it, and everyone else will be scrambling to catch up to a thing you already saw coming. That's the whole opportunity today. Not to build with it, but to understand it. Chapter 7, how to actually learn this. So let us make this practical. How do you, a normal person, maybe non-technical, start learning loop engineering now? 4 concrete steps and write this down. Step number 1, retrain your brain from tasks to outcomes. This is free and you can start today with the tools you already have. Stop asking AI, write me a caption. Rather, start asking, here is my goal, here is how we will know it worked, and what is the plan to get there. Just changing the shape of your request from tasks to objectives is building the exact muscle that this whole shift will reward. This is 80% of the mindset and it costs you nothing but the habit. Step number 2. Practice mini loops by hand. You don't need fancy software to feel how a loop works. Do it manually. Ask AI to write something, then ask it, now critique that harshly, what is weak, and then now rewrite it fixing those problems. You just ran an act, verify and refine with your own hands. Do that 10 times and the concept stops being abstract, it becomes something you feel. Step number 3. Meet the real tools gently. The place where loops actually live right now is tools like Claude Code. Yes, it lives in something that looks intimidating, a terminal, but Anthropic has built a beginner-friendly UI as well. In fact, Anthropic Academy has free courses, no credit cards required, and that will walk you from what even is this to building simple automated workflows. Start there. Watch, don't stress about mastering it. You will be building familiarity and not becoming an engineer overnight. Step number 4. Learn the one skill loops can't replace, judgment. Here's the beautiful irony. In a world of self-running AI, the rarest and most valuable human skill is deciding what's worth doing and knowing when the work is actually good. The loop can execute forever, but it needs a human to point it at the right goal and to define what is done well means. That is not actually a coding skill, that is taste, critical thinking, and clear standards. Sharpen those and you become the person machines work for and not the person competing against them. So, is prompt engineering dead? Absolutely no. But be honest about what is happening right now. It got demoted. It went from the skill of the future to the basics everyone has. A whole new layer got built on top of that is context. And now the loops have come. And here's the line I want you to live with. The person who spends the next year perfecting their prompts is going to be excellent at a skill that stopped being rare. The person who learns to think in loops, in goals, in systems, in outcomes, in define it, check it, improve it, that is the person building the future. And please notice, none of that required you to be a coder. It required you to think clearly about what you want and how you will know when you have got it. You don't need permission and you don't need a computer science degree. You just need to see it coming before everyone else did. And now you do. If this video made you learn something new, subscribe to my channel and join the WhatsApp group whose link is in the description. We share a lot of free resources on our WhatsApp group and I make videos every week about all these evolving trends. That's the end of the video, guys. If this video made you understand looping, subscribe to my channel and join our WhatsApp community. There, we give a lot of free resources which will help you stay ahead in the AI race. That's it for now, and I'll see you in the next one.